All right. So, Kendall Inglese, thank you so much for joining me. I was wondering if you can tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I am a STEAM instructor who is, nearing retirement. So I have a lot of I do a lot of arts and science grants and with many communities north and west of Boston. Sometimes in Boston, I will do anything from a garden, a STEM garden talking about the environment and natural balance programming for with a story, mostly for children and their caregivers. And then we'll talk about, we'll engage uh, the audience into an activity that they can do with design. So I do a lot of elementary designs that even adults enjoy. And it's the difference between like taking a butterfly, static butterfly, and making a butterfly fly. So I call that 2.5D. But there's a lot of 3D design too that's so much fun online nowadays. BlocksCAD, for instance, open source. And there's a lot of things that you can do with design with a click of a button, but you need to understand the math behind it. And that tends to, you know, limit the audience as they get older. And I found that, it's such a special thing to be able to understand 3D design and the impact of 3D design. So Boston Museum of Science has a wonderful program called YES, which is young engineers in science, and they do a terrific job. Just just released now, and so that's one thing I would bring to the show is flyers about that because it's great for students, teachers, parents, librarians, to know a lot of these things that you can download from home.
Now, take us back to when you saw the call for art, right, for the exhibit. Uh, Tell us what went through your mind and that really inspired you to say, I want to participate in this exhibit.
The theme of the show is something optimistic, really, about what can we do about global warming? It's not the same old protests other people. You personally can do things. And one of the things that this is I actually took my family on a trail and sketched this up really quick. This was on right near Malden. There's a Northern Strand Trail, and at this viewpoint was very exciting to me because I was on a bicycle, okay, which I normally don't take time to do. I drive all over the universe all the time. I miss out on all the things that are around me when I'm driving because I'm concentrating on the pavement. And you are too. You know how that feeling is, rush, rush, rush. And so we were in the middle of, Metro Boston, and it was all full of woods on both sides. I said, I can't pitch me. I can't be in Malden, I mean, not the downtown part of Malden, but the Malden going toward the sea. And so, all of a sudden we started seeing the river, and then we saw the marsh, and all of a sudden you saw the different ecosystems of the birds and the different kinds of plants, and it all kind of grew up into this wonderful kind of welcome as you went down there. And it was a path of discovery. So the focus on this picture is really my own husband, who is in front of me. I've got people behind me in my family, but my husband's going, "Oh, I can't believe this place!" He's just calling out like a bird to the trees. He just cannot believe he's lived here. Like we've lived for more than half a century in this area, and we just never knew this area existed. So that was some wonderful person, some wonderful group actually built that trail, and it was hard to do in a metro area, and they stuck to it, and it took some time, and it was laborious, and there were steps, and there were times that they had to stop because people didn't want it. And the people that didn't want it didn't understand what they were stopping. They had never been on a trail themselves. So I just thought the perspective of that piece was powerful because, it was the turning point for us as citizens in the area to really start looking at helping people get out of their cars and walk. So pedal, like it's not just biking. So I understand a lot of seniors get all worried about balance. And it's hard if you don't have a blue bike or something in the area or a bike store to go to get a bike, but just to get out and walk and make sure that that becomes a priority in your day. So right now I'm doing a Red Cross challenge that's 100 miles for walking in February. And it was hard. It was hard to walk 100 miles in February with all the snow and ice. And so I was really challenged myself to go out and find a place, you can walk the mall, but I noticed that the beaches were all cleared. I mean, nobody knew that. But if you really take a second look at what your challenge is, sometimes you'd be surprised if you have some optimism. It's not all about pessimism. There's certain things that you can do and make a huge difference and impact in your own life.